Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are on page 165 of your student journal. And our objective or our goal today is today I will compare fractions by thinking about how many parts I have and the size of the parts. That's a really long goal or objective for today. But today we are not going to be using visual models, so we're going to really need to stop and think about how many parts I have and how big each part is. So in today's lesson, we're going to really think about food. We're going to try and picture models in our head since we're not going to be drawing them. So in our last video, we actually drew the models. Now we're just going to try and visualize them inside our imagination and see if that we can picture which one would be larger, which one would be smaller. Okay, our vocabulary is the same. So we're still going to be using fractions, and we're really going to have to think about what this means today. This is going to be really important today to think about. And then we're going to be using our same symbols. So remember, I talked about our alligator grabs the larger one, but then I also said this symbol, the less than, reminds me of an L, because we want to be able to read them correctly. Okay. So today, again, today's lesson is going to be really a lot of thinking because we're not going to be drawing those pictures. We're going to have to think about them in our head. So here's my first problem. Okay, so what do I see? I see 5/3 is, I want to be compared to 6/3. Okay, so in this fraction, these two fractions, I see that the denominators are the same. Okay. Why does that matter if the denominators are the same? So let's think about what the denominator tells me. The denominator tells me how many parts the whole was cut into. So picture a pizza that was, all the pizzas were, this was cut into 3 parts, this pizza, and this pizza was cut into 3 parts. Well, doesn't that mean that the parts are all the same size? The parts are the same size if they were both cut into 3 parts. So this tells me that the parts are the same size, because that's what the denominator does, is it cuts up the whole into parts. Now, if the parts are the same size, but over here I have 5 parts, and over here I have 6 parts, wouldn't this one have more? Because this is telling me like the slices of the pizza would be the same size, but this person has 6 of them, and this one only has 5. So this one is going to be the larger one. So I'm going to grab the bigger one. And then this says 5/3 is, that looks like my L, so it's less than 6/3. Okay. Now let's look at this one, because when we look at both these, they're very different and we'll have to talk about them. Okay, now let's look at them. Okay, now this is a different problem because now I have 3's that are the same, but those are my numerators. Those are my numerators. So those don't tell me the size, those tell me how many I have. So this fraction has 3, and this fraction has 3. So they both have 3 pieces. But let's look at the denominators and let's think about the size of the pieces. So if you had a pizza and you cut it into 4 slices, that's what this is saying. I have a pizza and I cut it into 4 slices. This pizza was cut into 5 slices. So which pizza has bigger pieces? So I'm going to pause Mike talking so you really think about that. If they took a pizza and cut it into 4 pieces here, but they took the same size pizza and cut it into 5 pieces, which pizza has bigger or larger slices? I'm hoping you think this one, because wouldn't you rather share it with have to only cut it into 4 pieces than into 5? Because the more pieces you cut something into, the smaller the pieces have to get. So this one has larger parts. They're going to be larger in size because they didn't have to divide the whole into so many. This pizza, or if we're thinking of a cake, these are going to be smaller. They're going to be smaller parts. So both people have 3, but this is 3 larger parts and this is 3 smaller parts, which means that this person has more. Even though they both have 3 slices of pizza, this one the pieces are larger than this person. So they actually get more pizza. So the way I would read this would be 3/4, and that does not look like an L, so that's greater than. 3/4 is greater than 3/5. Okay, I know that's really tricky, so we're gonna do some, but we're really gonna have to try and picture what these are. Okay, so here's our, oh, I just dropped my phone, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so sorry. Here's my first one that I'm gonna do with you, and I'm on page 166. Okay, ready? So let's look at what we have here. 3/6 compared to 3/8. Okay, so in this one, the numerators are the same. So the numerators are the same. This means I have 3 out of 6 pieces. So they have 3 pieces. This person has 3 out of 8 pieces. Okay, so I want you to picture the pizzas again. This pizza, they cut into 6 slices, and this pizza, they cut into 8 slices. That's what that means, because this is how many it was cut into, and this is how many you have. So which slices are larger? The pizza that they only had to divide between 6 people, or the pizza they divided between 8 people? Wouldn't these ones be larger? Wouldn't those slices of pizza be larger? So this denominator means that these are larger parts. They're larger in size, and these are smaller parts. Which means this person has 3 larger parts, and this person has 3 smaller parts. So this person actually has more pizza. So I'm gonna grab that one. Okay, and that one does not look like an L. So this is 3/6 is greater than 3/8. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, so let's think about this. This time the denominator is the same. So remember, the denominator is what tells us how many parts they cut the whole into. So this pizza was cut into 4 slices, and this pizza was cut into 4 slices. So the parts are the same size. The parts are the same size. Okay, but this person has 5 and this person has 6. So if you have 5 and this person has 6, but the parts are all the same size, doesn't this person have more because they have more pieces? So we're gonna say that one is larger. I'm gonna grab the bigger one. And remember now that looks like an L, so the way I'd read this is 5/4 is less than 6/4. Okay, so it's really very different. You have to think about, picture these fractions in your mind as you work on the next few pages on your own. Have a wonderful day, ladies and gentlemen.